Hey cats and kits, Captain Zorikh here at New York WinterCon. I forget what number edition this is. I got a late confirmation on giving a lecture about the history of the many Captain Marvels. So I focused it on the Captain Marvels in the recent movies, you know, Carol Danvers, Monica Rambeau, Billy Batson, and Kamala Khan, because Ms. Marvel is Captain Marvel adjacent.
Exactly. Did you like the movie?
Oh, actually, yes. The Marvels is a great movie. You can look at the YouTube channel, Captain Marvel Culture. I gave a little pre-show introduction to it. I gave my immediate after-movie review of it, and I gave a follow-up review in which I reviewed basically the costumes and the character names of all the characters for your understanding. But I was in such a hurry to get here, I didn't have time I wasn't able to gather all my usual Captain Marvel culture stuff.
That's what I noticed.
Yeah, I don't have the usual doublet. I've got the hat, but I've got the Rick Jones jacket, and I got the Carol Danvers shirt. So
it's a nice mixture.
Yeah, you know, I like to explore the Captain Marvel diaspora, if you will. I like to be pan-Captain Marvelist.
Nice.
So I decided to dominate the table with my videos.
The medieval stuff, yeah.
Yes. Now, basically, there are two organizations going on here. We've got the Society for Creative Anachronism. It's a non-profit educational organization dedicated to studying and recreating the fun parts of the Middle Ages. And we got two videos regarding that. This was the first video project I was really involved with. It was made in 1991. It's of the 20th Pensic War, the biggest annual event of the year for the SCA, and it is probably the biggest annual medieval event in which everyone in it is a participant. So we're not talking about like Ren fairs and medieval fests that draw 70,000 people. We're talking about what is nowadays between 11 and 12,000 people being medieval people for up to 2 weeks.
Right.
And this was made by some videographers in Brooklyn, Duckball. Duckball Video is their corporate name. And it gives a basic overview of what the SCA is, what Pensic is, and shows battle scenes, has important interviews, there's some dancing, there's some music, there's some arts. And it's about an hour and a half long, and I threw in about 45 minutes of bonus footage at the end of just more cool, nifty stuff that they had that fleshes out the whole experience for you. Now, as the years went by, you know, people were, hi, hey, thank you, doing a little interview here. Hey, come on back. Friends of mine, they're more pan-Captain Marvelists. Okay, anyway, over the years, I was the distributor of it.
Right.
It got to the point where years passed, and people were saying, do you have any more? Mine's worn out. Or, no, I've never heard of it. And I was thinking, you know, we ought to do something about that. Right. And I was kind of almost thinking about drifting out of the SCA, but then I got a new girlfriend, she wanted to get in, and I said, you know what, if we're going back to Pensic, I did the math, it's been exactly 20 years since this. So you know what, let's make this. Hey, Demetrius. So this here is Return to Pensic. And I made it with a friend of mine, simply the best GA West pro wrestler who was in my movie Redemption. And he's a pro wrestler, fitness coach, fitness pro, life coach kind of guy. And so I figured, what would happen if I just dropped him in the middle of Pensic and left him to his own devices? Well, no, it was more guided than that. There is no reality in reality. But so you got a binocular vision of Pensic, me talking to people about what's changed and what stayed the same, and him asking people, what is all this?
Right.
And we actually found some surprising parallels between the world of this place where people take on personas, wear costumes, and among the many things they do is is a spectacular combat sport, only not choreographed, not predetermined, fully competitive. And surprisingly, and there being a culture about it,
Right.
in which the more and harder and deeper you play the game, the more you get out of the game.
Right.
Which is, it's true for a lot of things, but there being so many parallels, such as concepts of courtesy, chivalrous, and kindness, and being the good guy and being the hero,
Right.
exist in both worlds. And only in one world they set up these things to create artificial dramas of good and evil, but underneath of which are real life dramas
Right.
of their own kinds of goods and evils in the world of people trying to achieve in pro wrestling. And here, all the levels are organic.
Nice.
They really happen. I mean, to become master of a craft, be it sword fighting or calligraphy or leatherwork or building armor or sewing, you got to find a good teacher. You got to find a good crew to work with. You got to find people you like to be with, and that you'll learn from and grow as a person and as a person of that art, skill, craft, or sport. And when you achieve the higher levels, you achieve a degree of responsibility. A responsibility towards your craft, a responsibility towards those who are trying to learn the craft, and part of that responsibility is to make this look good and make people want to do it.
Exactly.
And if you're a dick, you won't. And that happens on both ways. You get the good people and you get the people you wish didn't. And, well, this is quasi-propaganda because I want the people in the SCA to buy it and like it,
Right.
and I want to paint a good picture. Reality is reality, and I'm sure everybody understands that. So we don't go into the darker stuff.
Right.
But in the conversations I had with the people, there was acknowledgement between the people in the game and the people and my wrestler friend that that the darker stuff is there.
Right.
And in both cases, yeah, this is a fiction. This isn't. I win a tournament, I become king in this fictional kingdom, and what does that get me?
Right. Exactly.
But when
Lots
you're
of
in
fun.
it, when you're wearing the clothes, when you're walking the walk, talking the talk, all the lights are torches or candles. You're drinking stuff that your friend had in a bottle for 6 months. You're sitting there singing songs and telling stories. You're going out there, and even though you're holding a piece of rattan, and someone's going to pretend that he's dead when you hit him,
It's the ultimate LARP.
it's still real to me, damn it!
Exactly.
Okay, this, however, take away all those social trappings, take away all the cultural trappings
Right.
of the Middle Ages, the feasting, the clothes, the dancing, and that, and just get the fighting to a sport. Now, the armor's got to be historically accurate. We're actually using metal weapons, and we've got more hardcore rules. There's punching, there's kicking, there's grappling. Instead of here, where one blow to the head of the body is a kill, here in singles matches, it's points over rounds to win the match.
Right.
But in melee, it's knockdown or nothing. So if I didn't fall, you obviously didn't hit me hard enough. Here, there's a certain level we've agreed on as the level of hard enough that you should have to hit somebody in order to kill him. Here, I'm still standing, try again. But here, you can only hit them with the weapon that's made out of rattan. So you don't need as much armor, you're not allowed to hit the knees or below. It's a more democratic sport, allows a greater variety of body types, if you will, and fitness levels. Here, this is hardcore, this is tough man, and tough woman, and tough whatever else there is. Because in the melee, punch, you can kick, you can wrestle, you can run into them like a freight train, you can trip them, you can hit them from behind.
Nice.
You can hit them all the way
It's
down
actual
to his
fighting,
ankles.
right?
And yep, please do. And I was the only New Yorker on the first American team to go to the World Championships,
Nice.
and the second. And in the third one, we had 2 other New Yorkers. But so I make these documentaries I made one of the first trip we went out. I
Right.
don't have it with me. It's on Amazon.com. It's called U.S. Against the World. But that was 2012. This is 2015. I decided to brand it American Nights.
Right.
Because that way, when I do 2018, I can call it American Nights 2018.
There you go.
All right?
That's what you're working on now.
Yes. And, you know, the first year I went out there, it was practically just home movies. Me and my girlfriend with one camera, 90 minutes and we're out with a couple of brief interviews.
Right.
This, 3 solid hours, because the team was bigger, there were more competitions, and more interviews and more subtleties and stuff
Right.
like that. So I was able to make a more well-rounded program. But also the whole rest, while the U.S. got bigger, the whole rest of the world got better
Right.
too. See, most of the original team for this
Right.
came from this.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Guys who had achieved everything and midlife crisis, empty nesters who wanted to try their next big challenge, and they were all basically big, old, and fat. And they got their asses handed to them by the young,
And upcomers.
fit,
Yeah.
by the young, fit Eastern Europeans who had invented the game. So they hit the gym, they changed their diet, they watched the videos, and more people who are not from this joined because, like, this is boxing to this is UFC, okay? This is MMA. And
So,
yeah.
if everybody wants to find you and all this information,
Oh, sure.
Let them know.
Okay, so I am Captain Zorikh.
There we go.
All right, Zorikh, the only Zorikh spelled that way on social media in English.
Oh, it's so easy to find you. I got to tell you that.
Yeah, okay. And now this video actually has its own YouTube channel. It's called Return to Penzik.
Right.
But other combat from this sport, from the Society for Creative Anachronism, as well as from the full contact games, is in the YouTube channel.
Right.
New York Knights Combat. New York Knights Combat is a little business I have that provides armor, costumes, accoutrements for all purposes. Costumes, parties, shows. If you're putting on a play, or if you're having a festival,
Oh, that's pretty
or
good.
if
Okay.
you want to, if you're a teacher and you want to have a medieval day or have a night to give a first-person presentation
Right.
about what it is to be a knight. Heck, we even had one little thing where I talked about a knight going on quest and how knights would sometimes just park themselves somewhere and say, I have promised never to eat sandwiches until I do a deed of honor. All right? And so I
like
took
that.
the whole class into Central Park, and there was a knight and his lady having a picnic with sandwiches at the ready. And he said, and he asked me if I had any vows, and I had some vow. And I, who towered a head and shoulder above him, said, I seek to find a man taller than myself. No. I seek a man shorter than myself, for I say, I am the shortest man in the world. As I looked down at the top of his head. And if you can defeat me, then you will prove that I am taller than you. And so
I love that.
we figured that these were appropriate vows.
Right.
And so we had a good tournament, and I don't know or care who won. We had a good little duel there, and I don't know. I forget which way it went, or maybe we called it a draw, but it gave the students an idea of the kind of romanticism
Right.
that knights and nobility tried to live in that day. Didn't always work, didn't always last, not everybody did it, but it was an ideal. And without ideals to strive for, how can you be any better than you are?
Exactly.
Right? So that's the whole thing. Even in this game, you actually get to, within the game, there are opportunities to do it on many levels.
Right.
Here, it's just the sport, but there's opportunities to do it within the sport.
Right.
And in all of them, and in this game, really only about 1/10 of the people fight. Everybody else loves other things about the Middle Ages, and that's what makes it a well-rounded experience. Somebody's got to make the clothes, cook the food, teach us how to dance, draw up the scrolls, that sort of thing.
It sounds like an incredible experience. I think people should really check it out.
Yeah.
You're here the whole weekend, right?
No, I was just here for today.
You guys have missed it. So if you guys are, most likely this video won't go out because my connection has been bad in here. But go check out Zorikh. Check him out online. Where again?
CaptainZorikh.com. And if you go to CaptainZorikh.com/catalog, then you'll find all these videos and more, including the rockabilly stylizations of the Death Star repairman.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So go check him out. He is amazing and a great conversationalist.
And of course, CaptainMarvelCulture.com, YouTube, Facebook, Blogspot, and MySpace.
There you have it, folks. Go check him out.